แฟนเพลงจากทั่วโลกร่วมกับทีมแพทย์พยาบาลช่วยกันอธิษฐานเพื่อนักดนตรีในตำนานจนหายจากโรคโควิดจากใจต่างแดนวันนี้ไปกันเลยค่ะโควิดฟรี
April 6, 2020. Hundreds gather at a prayer vigil for a man fighting for his life. Award-winning musician and producer, Rodney Stepp. Best known as keyboardist for the iconic R&B group, The Spinners, his 60-plus-year career has earned him respect throughout the music industry, with little slowing him down. Until now. In late March, while coming back from a gig, Rodney began feeling ill.
I was a little worried about him, but I knew that he was tired, so I just let him sleep. But Monday was different. He had been sick for about a week with a very nasty cough. Then he ended up getting fever.
That Monday, Sheena took her husband to IU Health North Hospital. There, Rodney tested positive for COVID-19 and was admitted for care.
I was hearing that people were getting put on the ventilator and they were dying. And I walked out the door, I broke down.
With strict visitor limitations in place, Sheena relied on text messages from the staff to get the latest on her husband. One person who provided constant updates was their friend and big fan of Rodney's music, Dr. Denise Kumbelik.
I put my hand on him. He was burning with fever. By that time, he was intubated, but he could hear me, and he would squeeze my hand, and I could talk to him.
Rodney's health declined quickly, and by Friday that week, he was in the ICU in a medically induced coma. His lungs were operating at only 25%.
It was devastating. Rodney is and has been the love of my life for a little over 21 years. What am I going to do without him?
Family, friends, and fans around the world offered up prayers. Over the next week, Rodney suffered renal failure, a clotting issue, and developed a GI bleed that required a blood transfusion.
He really had every complication that you can imagine and shared that with the group, that I was really concerned that he was not going to survive.
I recorded a prayer for him, and I asked God to just continue to touch him from his head to his toes and let him know that he needed to fight, that he was loved, and everyone was praying for him.
Sheena sent the prayer to Dr. Kumbelik, who played it back for Rodney. It was then she got an idea.
One of the doctors told Denise, don't give up on him just yet. So if you're going to do anything, you need to do it now.
Though unsure if it would make the difference, Dr. Kumbelik was willing to give prayer a chance.
I think I said, I don't believe in miracles, but if you want to show me one, I'm here. I'll accept a miracle on this.
On the evening of April 6th, the vigil began with prayer and singing.
God is in this place. One more time, y'all, everybody.
Nurses from all over the hospital came down and came out to the prayer vigil, and people placed the flags, wrote a prayer. The cars completely wrapped around the hospital, and then there was a line that couldn't get into the parking lot.
I believed that God was going to answer my prayer because I never felt in my heart that I was going to lose him. Having friends and family send you scriptures and praying for you and with you, there was just no way.
From that day forward, Rodney's lungs started to improve, and doctors began weaning him off the ventilator.
His lungs were getting better. The fluid was dissipating. But it did not stop any of us from praying. And I always ask God, thank you for everything that you have given me, and thank you for everything that you have taken away.
On April 12th, Easter Sunday, Rodney was brought out of his coma, taken off the ventilator, and breathing fully on his own.
When I first woke up, I was very weak, and I knew it was going to be a struggle. But that was still motivation for me to try to go home. I wanted to go home.
Talking to Rodney for the first time when he got off the ventilator, I did start crying. 3 things he said. I love you. He asked me if I was okay and if the dog was okay.
My last test, I had to walk the entire 5th floor. I was on the 5th floor, and I walked that 5th floor, and man, I had them trying to keep up with me.
After 30 days in the hospital, Rodney was wheeled out to cheers from his friends, family, and medical staff. Dubbed the miracle patient, Rodney spent the next 10 days in rehab before finally going home.
Would get off of each elevator on each floor, and there would just be lines of people clapping and cheering and wishing me well.
Though Rodney's body and kidneys are weaker, he's focusing on the most important thing, that he's alive. He's even using his experience with COVID as the inspiration for a gospel EP titled C19.
The only thing he did not do was die. He's our miracle. You know, we declared a miracle.
I know I wouldn't be here without the power of prayer. God was listening, and the power of prayer is just, it's so powerful.
Stay close to God. Pray, He hears, and He will come through.